Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Once again, it is Brownie from the Young Zings. I'm good. You good? Cool. Let's talk. Today we have a rather interesting video, this time discussing a particular card whose price is starting to reach, well, critical mass over the past few weeks or so. I'm tempted to name this the beginning of my fireside chats, in which we come together as a group to gather around the fireplace and discern whether or not a certain card that is on the agenda to be tossed either inside the fire as kindling or simply as a sacrificial offering. Jokes, man. But, of course, jokes aside. The card in question today is Luster Pendulum the Dracoslayer, and he debuted here in TCG in August in Clash of Rebellions as a super rare. At the time of his release, he was probably at like a $4 card or so. That's like when I got mine. He was like $4 then. Rightfully so, of course. It had no immediate role in the meta upon its release, so he wasn't really bound to drop on the market with a super large price tag. However, it was clear that he was going to have a much larger role in the future than he did at first. Not only could you read the card itself and be like, damn, that's good. But in August, the OCG was being ripped apart by the Pendulum Menace. These decks that were running the OCG was like decks like Magispector and Magician, and of course the gloriously omnipotent Performage and Pals. What these decks had in common was they could all use and abuse Luster Pendulum. In fact, Pepe and Magispector pretty much max out on him every single time. Magician can play it, but they don't always do. It's their thing. Seeing that these decks were coming in the future to the TCG, Luster Pendulum wasn't going to stay $4 forever, and sure enough, he did not. But enough on the card's price, let's get down to business here and ask the main question of this video: is the Luster Pendulum ban-worthy? Notice the difference here between asking whether or not he should or would be banned, in my opinion, but whether or not I think he's legitimately worthy of getting the axe. I want to determine whether or not he meets my general requirements of a ban-worthy card, and not whether or not I think Konami would ban him in the near future, because, to be honest, I don't know, you don't know, hell, I don't think they know, so I mean, can't really, should, would, don't really matter. I just want to kind of talk about whether or not he's ban-worthy. On paper and on its own, Luster Pendulum is neutral in terms of card advantage. You destroy one to add one, so no gain nor loss in terms of card advantage. Of course, it's somewhat ignorant to consider the card's strength on its own. In the grand scheme of things, he really is a +1 on his own since the pendulum that he destroys is sent to the extra deck. So it can easily be pendulum summoned back if you use the card you searched as Luster's partner scale, or use another card to complete the scale. Of course, Luster Pendulum is very potent in both of those situations. Now, okay, let's go a little bit further now. Let's see how Luster Pendulum interacts with a few cards in particular. One of the most, may I say, disgusting examples of the immense strength and somewhat stupidity of Luster Pendulum is when he's used with either Performage Plush Fire or Liberating Ariadne. Destroying Plush Fire with Luster Pendulum not only grants you a search of Plush Fire off of your Luster Pendulum, therefore going plus off of our previous example, but also Plush Fire's monster effect will trigger. This allows you to summon Juggler, Trick Clown, or any other members of the Clown gang. So technically you went +2 in one fall swoop for being fortunate enough to drop both of these in your scale, and have access to some other card that was able to complete Luster's scale, since, you know, Plush Fire is a scale 5, so he cannot be used as Luster's partner in order to perform the Pendulum summon that would summon the first Plush Fire that would be destroyed. A little bit wordy, I understand, hold on, I'm getting there. In terms of Liberating Ariadne, or Ariadne the Absolver, it gets a little bit dorkier. Ariadne has a similar effect as Plush Fire in the fact that she triggers her monster effect when she's destroyed in the Pendulum Zone. Instead of Plush Fire nonchalantly summoning a clown from the deck, Ariadne allows you to select 3 counter traps from your deck and force your opponent to pick one that will be added to your hand. Luckily, in the same set Ariadne is coming out in, Breakers of Shadow, is Solemn Notice, which is probably one of the best counter traps we've ever seen in the game. It negates any inherent special summon of a monster or monsters and destroys them, or it can negate any monster effect, both of which have the cost of 1500 life, and it's going to be at 3 when it drops. That's right, Solemn Notice is going to be at 3 when it drops. So you can, if you destroy Ariadne, you can show your opponent 3 copies of Solemn Notice and be like, here, please, pick your favorite. But it gets worse. Don't forget that Luster Pendulum also searched out a copy of Ariadne, and she happens to be the perfect scale to complement Luster Pendulum. She's a scale 3. So you can use her in the other pendulum scale to pendulum summon back the one that was killed. A little bit easier now than it was with Plush Fire now, isn't it? Now those cards get even nuttier when you add in cards like Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, or the Pendulum Wizard as his OCG name is. And since neither Plush nor Ariadne are once per turn, the stupidity ensues. But this video is about Luster, not those two critters. What's Luster's role in all of this? Of course, both of those cards, Plush Fire and Ariadne, they triggered off of a lot of the cards that aren't Luster Pendulum, like Wavering Eyes, Pendulum Sorcerer, Twin Twister, Skyark, hell, even Heavy Storm, the list goes on. But the reason why Luster Pendulum seems to be the best at it is because he's so generic and so efficient. He works with any pendulum monster, regardless of scale, archetype level, whatever. He searches out another copy of the card relatively for free, since it's really not hard to complete your scale. And when you add in effects like Plush Fire and Ariadne, resolving Luster Pendulum puts you ridiculously far ahead. Furthermore, aside from his pendulum effect, Luster Pendulum has a fantastic scale for rank 4 Spanducts, which are easily the most dominant right now, and will be for the foreseeable future. He's a level 4 himself with 1850 attack, which is a lot. Actually a great deal. He's even a tuner. However, he comes with a catch. He can only be used for the Synchro, Fusion, or Xyz of a Dracoslayer from the extra deck, which is pretty restrictive, except when you account for the fact that all of the Dracoslayer extra deck monsters are nothing short of amazing, phenomenal. They're beasts. Ignister Prominence is absurdly powerful with a beefy 2850 attack and the effect to summon forth more Luster Pendulums from the deck for free, or, Master Pendulums from Breakers of Shadow if you get your hands on those. And you can spin back your opponent's cards by sacking a Pendulum card on either side of the field, not just your own. You can pop your opponent's Pendulum cards to shuffle one of their cards without targeting. Majester Paladin is less good, but still great in that he searches any Pendulum monster in the end phase, but he can also summon Dracoslayer Pendulums from the extra deck in any position, not just defense like Ignister. To be honest, Luster Pendulum could be one of two things, really. He gets too much advantage to handle for just being there, honestly, especially when used with Plush or Ariadne, and it's just a fantastic card overall. He's splashable in any Pendulum deck for the most part, with how generic his effect is, and he opens the gates up to 3 immensely powerful extra deck monsters. He can only be used for Dracoslayers, but these guys are all really, really good. They're releasing cards like Clash of the Draco Rivals that make him just a lot better, too. On the other hand, you could argue that Luster Pendulum is just the new face of the game. He could be one step towards the direction that Konami wants to take the game with pendulums. Who knows? We could be getting more cards that make Luster Pendulum look tame. But personally, I think Luster Pendulum is indeed ban-worthy. TBH, IRL, Ariadne, and Plush Fire are just poorly designed. But Luster is only really an enabler who's getting better over time. But I honestly don't think they would ban him. Obviously because they want to push pendulums, but also because he seems to exemplify some of the core characteristics of the New Pendulum strategy that surface, in which you just shove a bunch of pendulums into the extra deck and go, and of course that's just a guess. But obviously, that is just what I think. What do you guys think? Drop a note or your thoughts in the comments down in the forum below, but also drop a like on your way down if you liked what you saw. But hey, also subscribe if you haven't done yet. We got more discussion videos in the future if you guys are into that kind of stuff. Got some more videos you can check out on the screen right now if you get the chance. Look at our discussion on a similar topic, the Perform Agent PAL deck, if you got the time. Or if you're getting sick of discussion videos, that's cool. I threw up a video featuring my duel with Burning Abyss facing off against a very interesting Chaos Dragon deck. That's all from here, guys. Again, remember to leave a like and a comment, but also subscribe if you haven't. So long from here, and have a good one.